All right, welcome back, y'all. Today we got Mr. Justin. Justin, why don't you go ahead tell us how you got into this hobby, man?
Oh, I've been into reptiles basically my entire life. Since I was very young, always was out, looking for hognose or garter snakes or whatever. I'd be lifting up home plate instead of playing baseball, looking for something. Um, then when after high school, um, my friends started, applying for colleges and stuff. At 17 years old, I was 17 or 18, I bought a trio of green tree pythons, successfully bred them. Then I produced, what was it? A clutch of 17 and a clutch of, it's like 20 years. I got two clutches. Um, I went to a show, in Baltimore, 20 years ago, what was the name of that show? This is so long ago. I rented a table, went to the Baltimore show. Shit, I can't remember the name of that show. I don't even know if they still have it. But anyway, there was a big breeder named Peter Call. I don't know if you know who Peter Call was.
Yeah.
He was the guy who got the original piebald ball pythons. The very original. He brought the original ones in. It was like a
Okay.
Dave and Tracy Barker got them. They owed money to the guy who sent them to them. They didn't pay. Pete Call paid for them. They were told to send up piebalds to Peter Call. Well, during a show, he had all the vendors invited back to his house for a pig roast. And there's like hundreds of, the people that were behind the table, there's like hundreds of people there. And he broke out like it was like it just hatched he just proved out the very first piebald ball python. And one of the guys that worked there was an arboreal guy, he was like a tree python guy. So I kind of like bonded with him, talking to him, and then he was like giving me like a private tour of like all the ball pythons, and took out one of the four piebalds that they produce. And that thing's insane. And it was just 18, 19, however old I was very young. And I was like, and the price of this thing was going to be like 50, 60,000. Something insane. It was going to be like, no way I was ever getting this thing, one of these. So I sold all my green tree pythons and I was like, I'll go to Africa and get one. So that's basically what I did. I sold all my shit, sold my adults, sold everything, raised like, it was like 15,000 bucks or whatever. And I bought a ticket to Africa. And I never actually found that piebald in Africa, but I did bring in some pretty cool things. I spent about 10 years there, traveling Ghana, Togo, Benin. Uh, yeah, and that was it, man. I was over there for years and years and years, and I brought back some pretty cool things. My name's actually in a book, Kevin McCurley from Nerd. Um, I think it's called Ball Python Morphs, Volume 1. It's about a 20-year-old book, but I read in the original scale. My name's in the back of the book under Unproven Morphs. And Kevin reached out to me and said, hey, send me some pictures. I'd like to put the snake in the book. And there's a little caption with my name underneath saying unproven, I think he called it a micro scale or whatever he was calling it. But yeah, I bought that snake in Africa for shit, 4 grand. I bought that one for. But yeah, I brought in some other stuff too, some pretty cool things.
That's fucking awesome. Go
Yeah,
meet some of
I'd
them.
like to go to New Caledonia, bro. That's what I like. New Caledonia or Madagascar. I'd love to do it.
How'd you get into the geckos? What brought you to the geckos?
Well, we- the snake thing just I don't know. I don't know how to really say all this, but it basically, some shit happened. Nothing legal or anything. But I ended up getting screwed over on quite a few of the morphs I brought in. Not going to mention any names. I was a young kid, looked up to a lot of these breeders. Like they were, those were my rock stars as a young kid. I wanted to be like the big guy that was doing ball pythons. I looked at these guys like father figures, and I was like I don't say I was a fanboy, but I was like, really trying to get in with a lot of these guys. And there was a little, there was a little bit of jealousy from what I was doing. There's like no doubt about that. People were like irritated that like I was going there and getting some, brought back some really cool things. A lot of things that, are very popular. Um, and basically, I ended up getting screwed over, and then I kind of just like fell out of it, man. I just kind of fell out of the whole like snake thing. Like I see a ball python, it's just like it doesn't bring back good memories at all. I had cerebral malaria, I was sick, I went through a lot of shit to put a collection together that went there, literal blood, sweat, and tears to try to do this a way where I didn't have to spend nearly as much money. And all in all, I trusted some people, sent collections off, stuff that I collected that was supposed to be, you know, breeder partnership, use that breeder's name, and, you know, we were going to be, partners. Long story short, it didn't work out that way. Some people made a lot of money, made some names for themselves, and yeah, I got screwed over. So I kind of just like fell out of it for years and years and years. And then, I've always loved these things. Always, I've always kept. I had a Gila monster for a beaded lizard. I had that for like 20 years. It actually just passed away a couple weeks ago. But yeah, no, I just wanted to get back into it. And yeah, so I got into the satanic leaf tails. I got the chihuahuas, the crested, stuff like that. And I'm just building up those collections, So I've already successfully bred them, got eggs. I'm just waiting for hatching and stuff, man. So that's
Awesome.
pretty much my story.
You've hatched
Yeah.
satanics though, right? You've hatched some leaf tails.
My first set of leaf tails are due to hatch in the next week to 10 days.
Man,
So those
Nice.
are yeah. So far I've gotten four clutches. They lay. It's weird. She lays every 24 days. It's pretty wild.
oh,
Um, but yeah, no, I should have them in the next 7 to 10 days. I should have my first babies out.
that's all.
How long did it usually take to hatch?
I've heard anywhere from, I guess it's like a chewy, depending on the temperature, anywhere from 85 days to 120 days or whatever, depending on your temperatures. So I got them in the
Yeah.
incubator at 72. So which is
Okay.
considered the higher end for some reason with the details.
Really?
That's what they say. Yeah, that's what they say.
Those when you got the satanics, what made you go between? Because I always wondered they have the satanics and the other one, the Ebenawis, right?
Seven hours, yeah.
What
Sure.
made you pick one over the other?
Oh, the 10. I like the 10. I love the Ebon hours. I'm going to get a couple. I'm speaking to a woman, I'm going to be probably buying a pair from her. I think it's just that they look exactly the same, man. I don't know how they're not considered like, I mean, they got to be related. It's just, the one has just a much smaller, they call it a spear point tail or spear tail gecko, the Ebon. I just like the Satanic Spider-Man. I just like their tail better, is what I should say.
I wonder if anybody ever tried to hybrid them, like crossbreed.
Yeah, I don't see how that wouldn't work, man. I don't see how that wouldn't work. They look identical, man. If you had two animals with no tail, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference.
I
Other
didn't.
than the behavior, I hear the Ebonawis like jump a lot more. They're a little bit more skittish. But other than that, man, they look identical.
Huh.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little about your Chewy collection? How you, how many you got, breeders you got them from, what you're looking to do.
Uh, well, I'm hoping to pick up a nice high white collar animal this weekend. Um, I got I got some nice ones. I don't know if I'd be able to even show them if they're all probably hiding in their logs. I do like the white collar, the high white, a little bit more pricey. I have spent some money on these things. Um, I do have what do I have? One, two. I have basically three pair, and I'm still waiting on the gender of one of my really high whites that you've seen on Facebook. It's got the two, broad white bands down the back, a real thick white banded neck. Um, but that animal was sold to me as a male. It's about 45 grams. It's starting to look like it's probably going to be a female, which is fine because another one that I bought as a female turned out to be a male. So I should end up with my trio in the inevitably.
So what's your goal with the Chihuahuas? What are you aiming to try to create?
I just like I like the high white, man. I like the high white with some of the peach colors. Yeah, I do like the really color, when they get really nice color. I bought a really nice male from a guy who, he spent quite a bit on his collection. It's from Louboutin and Sparrow. Um, Apparently he's a pretty popular, famous pair. So I ended up getting a male from him from one of the offspring that he produced. So, but
Okay.
his original line came from that line. So, and I think the female's from I forget the pairing, but it was a Bill Hughes animal. So,
Okay.
yeah, no, it's a nice animal, man. The siblings to this, this one isn't like crazy white neck, but the lineage is there. Um, but yeah, the siblings on this are just like insane. Just like some of the animals out of out of that parent are just intense. They're nice. They're nice. So I went with that. I wanted to do a little bit more. My very first one I bought was a mainland. I bought a mainland from a show. Fell in love with them, and I started looking into them. So I go for the stuff. So yeah, that's right.
That's awesome, man. So your main goal is to work with the white collars. You just perfect the white.
Yeah, I like the white collar stuff, man. Big, heavy, solid white. Yeah, I mean, they're just so cool. I mean, in my opinion, I really touch them. I just think they're so cool. The broader, the sharper, the denser the white. I just think they're just like that. No spine. Just looks like like it looks like a freaking um like frosted mini wheat on the back of the neck. It just looks so cool, man. They're just so cool.
Yeah.
They got the big like bulldog we had. They're cool geckos, man. They're just really cool geckos.
Definitely are. I wish people knew about them. I don't see how crested geckos would be as popular as they are if people knew about these other damn things, man. To be honest.
Yeah, when I was doing my looking into it, I had a Crest. I was like, I'll do Cresses. And then I started looking at all the New Caledonia stuff, the lychees. I don't know. It just, I don't know if this is gonna sound weird, but the Chewies are very proportional. Head, body, tail ratio is very proportional. Where like the lychees have like a weird tail, like it's a very short, stubby tail. The Cresses have a big, bulbous head. I don't know, just like proportional with proportionality, I think Chewy's like fit that the best for me. I don't know what it is. I see it as a very attractive gecko species.
They are. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
It just looks right. I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah.
I'm just talking out my ass,
No.
but I just like the way they look overall.
Yeah. I think what attracted me to them was they're just more athletic than the others. So you're always seeing them go everywhere. They're a little bit more flexible. They're better hunters from what I've seen. That's what attracted me to the Chihuahuas.
Yeah, and they're
Like,
launching themselves all over the tanks and It's crazy,
yeah,
bro. Then you hear a big bang, and
just
it's
to
like, oh,
go after a buck, boom,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
sniper.
Then you see he's like hanging on like one of the plants he got in there because he just jumped off the top and landed on one of the plants or something. Yeah, yeah, they're pretty wild. I love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
Guys, excuse me for 1 minute. I got to get my battery pack. My friggin' thing's dead. Give me 1 second.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
So for your
a little bit.
for those Satanics, are they Wildcats or you got some CBBs?
No, I bought no. I bought captive born. I have captive born. They were captive born. The woman I bought a trio from a woman in Rochester. She produces quite a few of them. She produces some
Okay.
really nice stuff. She has, she's building quite a collection. And then one of my males, unrelated pairs, so I could,
Hmm.
sell them as unrelated pairs and stuff. And then my one male, beautiful green male with brown stripes, very unique looking gecko, very cool. None of them are like a plain brown. They're like nice geckos. I spend a little more money on them. And that one came from Florida, from a kid in Florida. I bought one. So,
Okay.
and he apparently
So
brought it in as a captive born from a breeder named Bion over in Europe. They're a big leaf tail.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I know who they are.
Europe
Yeah,
brand.
yeah.
Yeah, this was a captive born male from Bion. And yeah, they breed great. My female, bred at 6 months, man. I got eggs at 6 months old. At 6 months old, she produced,
Yeah,
a good clutch, bro, a fertile clutch, 6 months old. 24 days
that's
later,
crazy.
you know, two more eggs. 24
Yeah, I've
days
always
after that.
heard like smaller geckos tend to have a faster maturity rate than like
Yeah,
larger geckos.
I believe it. Yeah, it ain't no 2 years or any of that, man. Everyone says, oh, 9 months, they should be ready to go, 9 months to a year. Um, I had like when I first got them, I was told, you could house them together. They're very communal. You could, put them together. So I had like a Cajun issue, I was like, okay, well, she's big because the male I bought was a lot bigger. He was like a 6, 7 month old male. So he was already like full size. And the female was like tiny when I got her. She was probably like 2 grams, a tiny, tiny little gecko. Like so much so when I first saw her, I was like, Jesus Christ, this thing is small. I'm gonna break this thing. So I put her in a little tiny, I had a little 888 exoteric I put her in. And then she started getting bigger. I was like, okay, she was so small that I was afraid the male would have been able to eat her. That's how tiny this thing was. Um, and then
Yeah,
within like 4 or 5 months, bro, the thing was like big enough. But at this point, she was only, what, 6 months old, 7.5 months old. So I was like, okay, I'll throw her. I set up a new exoteric. I was like, I'll just throw her in with the male, or, so you could keep them together, no problem. She wasn't in that cage for more than 5 minutes before the male was on top of her.
yeah.
And
I've
they,
heard
they
males are
just
kind of
bred
impressive
instant.
at breeding.
Yeah, just instantly bred with her, and then literally 25 days later, I got a fertile clutch. So she never even laid buds or anything. She just, I don't know if he initiated her, reproductive cycle just by walking with her, being in the cage with him or whatever. But no, they bred the minutes after she was introduced, and yeah, that was it. So I got a good clutch on her right away.
Nice.
It's awesome. So talk to us a little bit about husbandry. How do you keep them? What have you noticed from keeping them the way you keep them? What have you learned about the husbandry?
I built the room. I have that's I 20 years ago when I was successful with the green tree pythons. I built a room to kind of like mimic New Guinea or wherever they were, wherever that variety of green tree pythons I had was. I forget exactly which ones they were, which little bow. They might have been like Marie's or whatever they were. And I built a room, with baseboard heating, with the humidifier, and I just, with a digital thermostat, just kind of mimic the temperatures and everything of, I used to get printouts on, I forget what it was, like a weather.com or something 20 years ago. You get like a printout and it had like the monthly lows and highs, and I would just like copy the
Yeah.
monthly lows and highs. And yeah, and I successfully bred the green tree pythons, which I've been told, are pretty difficult to breed, but
This
I
day,
bred both like fertile clutches. Again, that funded me to go to Africa. Yeah, so I did the same thing with these things. New Caledonia and Madagascar are kind of similar, a little different. New Caledonia seems like the temperatures are a little hot, a little warmer, by 3, 4 degrees. So I built a room, same thing. And basically, I just, I have my Chewies all up higher. I have the Satanics lower. My tanks on the Satanics stay around 72 to 73. And then the tanks on top stay at about 76 to 78, and I have a hot spot for them. And yeah, they seem to be doing great. I have, it's all digital. I have everything on kill switches. I get notifications on my phone. If, the rain's gonna spike or get too hot, which it hasn't, knock on wood. And then I just have, it's a high humidity room. It's always like 70 to 80% humidity in there. So much so, I'm thinking I could probably just leave them in screen cages because it's like the room is like perfect. Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I do. I do everything bioactive, um, which was very new to me getting back into the hobby. I thought it was like real interesting, very cool. So I went that route, and yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah, this is I don't know if you can see it, but this is all my chewies. Top.
All your geckos are bioactive.
Yeah, all the geckos are bioactive, and these are the Satanics on the lower shelf. But
So
yeah,
you
so
doing? Are you doing like UVB and or just LEDs?
yep, I have airflow. I have I don't know if you can see. I have fans on top of the rafters. I have
Hmm.
heat, and then I do have here. I have the UVB over here, and I also have the plant lights on the back. And then if you can see
Okay.
the very top of the cage stays at 77.5. In the cage right now, this isn't set up so it doesn't get misted, but it's staying at 57% humidity. And this is a new one that I'm setting up for another gecko. I'm hopefully going to be getting this weekend.
We talked about it. Tell us
Nice.
about it, man. Tell my buddy Jason how this whole thing transpired with this other gecko, man. Because I haven't told him the whole story. You
Oh,
know who Oliver is, right? You know Darnell from Empire.
Yeah, yeah. You were telling me about it last time,
yeah.
or you were telling
So
me about Darnell last time.
Saying
so
saying shit.
he's got a really nice I just contacted him, asked him if he had anything, and turns out he's about 40 minutes from me, so he lives near me. And he had this really nice. I mean, it's a nice animal. You've seen it, right, Anthony? It's a nice looking animal with the big white collar. I don't know. Hold on. Did you guys lose me there?
No, you're still here. We can
Oh,
see you.
it said reconnecting. All right, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just an awesome looking animal. It's like a 65-gram female, big broad white
Oh,
neck.
nice.
Um, yeah, just it's a stunning female, man. I want to pick her up, So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully it goes well, and I want to run her to that nice male I got. So yeah, hopefully she has
Where
studs in her now. She has infertile eggs in her, so I should be able to pair
where's
them right up.
that white male from? That's from Troy's or
Which
from the
one?
Darnell too?
Which
The
one?
one the one with the crazy white on it. The
The one
male.
that I own?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's the one that we're unsure what it is. It was sold to me as a male, but I'm thinking it's a female. She's actually in this cage here, but she's not out. She hides in the little,
Nights all
in
day.
she hides all day in the little hidey hole. Sometimes she comes out and like bunches up right at the top to get a little more heat. Um, but yeah, no, I wish I could pull her out. She is not out, but I'm thinking that's a female. And the reason I'm saying that is because she's like 40, whatever. She was 43 grams on April 7th, 43 grams on April 7th, and there's no penal bulge yet. So I don't know if that's going to come later, but she's already, got some
You
size.
have you tried to loop it yet? Because usually
Yes,
at that size,
there
you should be able to see
there are
pores.
no pores. No, there's none. I
Okay.
have, I
Okay.
even have a nice, $300 nice
Yeah.
loop here. And, it's got straight type modification with whatever it is, it's a Jordan loop. I used to do Jordan. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't see any pores on that animal. So I'm like 95% sure it's a female.
Yeah.
So to me,
That's
it's
what
a
it sounds
male,
like.
but it's a I mean, you can't go wrong with more females. So I guess I'm
If you're
hoping it's a male because it's a nice male. It'd be a nice male to run to a bunch of just like you know, mediocre females. But no, it's a female.
it's not like you're switching them around, right? You leave them once you pair them, you leave them together, right?
No, I mean you can, but no, I plan on what I understand is in between clutches you can run them a male. You can put them in other enclosures. I mean that's what I intend to do. I intend to because that male right now is in with that really nice male I have is in with the female that just laid eggs. I am 100% going to take him out and put him in with another female. As long as they don't kill each other, yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I plan on having him you know, sire a couple clutches if I could.
That's cool. I never thought about it. Has anybody ever tried to? Have you ever heard anything about people
I,
keeping them in groups, like multiple females and one male?
No, not groups. I'm not going to put them in groups. I'm going to take him out and, just kind of like he's going to go from cage to cage,
rotate them
but
through tanks.
rotate him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to rotate him. Yeah, that's what I plan on doing.
I've
Heard of any?
I've heard some people do that before. I mean, it's not a common practice, but I have heard people say they do that. It's just a matter of you making sure you're paying attention to your lineage. That's all that is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as long as it's going to be the same male, so I'm not going to add another male to either one of these females. It's going to be
Yeah,
that
yeah,
male with two different. I plan on putting him to two females, and then I
yeah.
have another pretty nice male. He's like a white collar, but it's more of a. I don't know if you've ever seen him where it's more. It's a big broad collar, but it's more of a greenishy white. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about? It's
yeah.
not that like
I've seen plenty of those.
yeah, it's not like that Snow White. It's more of
Yeah,
like an
like a
off.
nice light green or something.
Yeah, like a light greenishy, but then it could look more
Yeah,
white than normal. That's him right there. I don't know if you can see
yeah.
him. There he is in the. You see him sticking out of the.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, see
Yeah,
him. Yeah. So he's got a nice big thick collar too. But it's more of an off white than like that bright white.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I've seen plenty of those. Actually there's plenty of them over at the show the other day when I was at. Like I said, they had mainlands with green collars. They had a PI with like a little off white color, and they're actually pretty cheap too. It was from Josh's Frogs. Like I said, he was selling like a proven pair
For a pair?
PIs for like 200 bucks. Yeah.
Bro, I
Oh
got them.
wow.
Are telling you that? They put them on sale, pair, male and a female from Josh Frogs. I didn't buy them as a pair, but they had this sale one day, like something. The Chewies were $200. I was like, how the fuck?
Hmm.
Nah, I bought two mainland from two, made sure they were from two different pairs. I emailed them. They messaged me back and said one's from group something, one's from group something. I said, boom. I clicked on the thing in my shopping cart, man, for like $400. I got a male and a female, man. Lucked out. I definitely lucked out. But from John, if male mainland I got from them, you wouldn't even think it's a mainland, man. This dude is that light colored green with burgundy, purple, like no other mainland I have, man. All my other mainlands are all dark ones I show you, dude. They're nothing the same. This dude is. I don't even know what to do with him, to be honest with you, because he's looks like one of those European line mainlands where they look like Pine Islands with all the crazy colors. Like I said, the pinks, the purples, the reds, all on one fucking gecko.
I mean, you have to assume they probably do cross Pine Islands with mainlands, right? I mean, I'm sure that's happened. I mean,
Well, they do.
there's no way these are all
So,
pure lines from the original stock. It can't be, right?
No, but I feel that Josh's Frogs holds a higher standard. Now, I could be wrong, but I talked
No,
to
but I'm
Josh.
saying I'm saying if he acquired those animals, say 5 years ago, for all for anyone knows, they could be 75% you know Pine Island, 25% mainland, and
Absolutely.
they're sold to you as Pine Island,
Absolutely.
um,
yeah.
That's why I
yeah.
think it's
So
today to look at the characteristics of an animal more than what someone's telling you, right? Because in my collection, a mainland is very distinctly different than a Pine Island. Now, if I was to go out and look for something, and I've seen plenty of geckos being sold as Pine Islands, then I promise you ain't Pine Islands. I promise you they got a heavy percentage of mainland in them. Big bulgy eyes, short mugs, just different, just overall smaller, a little smaller, more of a bulldog build, I guess you would say. But to me, it's super clear, right? Chase, get out of there. So I feel people are just a little. I don't want to say they do it intentionally, but some do. Some are like, "Oh, Pine Islands cost more money. I bought this Chihuahua at a reptile show for $300, knowing damn well it was a mainland, and they're turning around selling it on marketplace as a Pine
Yeah,
Island
for
because
like 700.
islands are more
Yeah.
desirable." And then right then and there, you've just screwed somebody. So unless you're looking
yeah.
at heuristics, and saying, well, hey, this isn't, you know, really representing this locale, then people just breed whatever and you get whatever. We were just talking, me and Jason, in the last episode or an episode before, about how that's a thing now. People are actually breeding no locale specific chihuahuas, which is flat out just a cross. It's just a cross of whatever they can get. The kid Dakota Blue from Dakota Blue Exotics, like openly does it. Openly is like, I got a mainland and a Pine Island, and well, they're the same species, so I'm just gonna breed them. And he literally sells no locale specific chihuahuas that are mainland and Pine Island. Like, and wants to know why he can't sell this shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
God
got a
damn.
whole podcast, whole episode, whole podcast thing on YouTube. It's a whole episode on YouTube where he talks about breeding chihuahuas, and he's like, "Well, my first one was a mainland, and I acquired this PI, and well, they're the same species, and technically nobody really knows what's what anymore. So I'm just going to put them together, and I'll sell them for a little less, but I'll move them. He ain't sold shit."
Yeah. I mean, Lychees are all island cross, right? I mean, they're
Yeah.
famous for that.
Yep. Yep. And from what I gather, again, I'm sure you guys both know, but there wasn't many. I was listening to David from Tiki's Geckos. He sat down with Philippe, the guy that writes all the books, on one of his
Hmm.
Patreon things. He was sitting down and he released a little bit, but he was saying that when they went out there in 19, I think it was 76, when they started and they found the Chihuahuas, they only brought in about 80 animals. There's only 80 animals brought in between like 6 or 7 guys, Chihuahuas. And at that time, he was saying, Philippe was saying that they have no idea, that they didn't even know on that first expedition that they were looking at different locales. You know, so I'd like to watch the whole episode, I guess, on his Patreon thing, but he's got it on his page, so you got to pay to watch it. I don't pay to watch,
Okay.
Yeah.
but
They are pretty distinctive looking. They really do look. I mean, the Pine Islands have like a long, more of a much longer, in my opinion, it's a more attractive snout. Um, and the mainlands look a little bit like, like you said, buggy-eyed, with the shorter snout. Um,
Yeah.
the more of a mottled look to their color and everything. They're cool, but I do like I do prefer the Pine Islands myself. Just a little bit more attractive to me.
well, they get they're got that more camouflaged moss look, I guess you would say. You know, when I look at my mainlands, I see like inner island, lower forest bark patterns. You know, they have like a. If you look at a Pine Island, it would appear to me that they evolved to live in damper, more wet climates. If you knew where the things they're camouflaged to look like would grow, just use your logic and think of where these things, what did they have to evolve to camouflage in with, right? Like,
Yeah.
they look very different. At some point, they obviously came from the same species, if you will, and they went their separate routes, but they probably evolved to different micro environments, man. Hence them looking over hundreds of years, thousands of years, looking as different as they do, you know?
Yeah, yeah. They're cool geckos, man. Very, I love them.
So so about when you're in Africa, you got any like crazy ass stories? Like anything crazy happened over there while you were
Oh
there
yeah,
like those few years?
I was arrested. I was had a bribe. Wow, dude, crazy. Yeah, it's crazy shit, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear some of that. I want to hear some of this crazy stories.
Ooh,
I was I
okay.
lived in Africa for a year and I dealt with crazy shit.
All right. So,
So I know you
um,
had.
I met people over there by buying a book called Lonely Planet back in those days. It wasn't internet shit, and there's a travel book called Lonely Planet. And I bought the West African travel book, and it has a list of like hotels in it, right? Um, with a number, so you could, long story short, I was calling every hotel and asking people on the phone, hey, do you know ball python? Like, that's how I had to do it back then. Got in touch with a dude named Edward, still a friend of mine until today. He worked at a hotel called Bonnie Beach. And it just so happened, I asked the same question I asked a million other people calling all these random hotels. Um, he's like, yeah, my uncle, Sammy, he does that. He has ball pythons, he gets eggs, and he knew exactly. He's like, yeah, he's got eggs, and he has the eggs. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna send you $100 right now to tell you I'm serious. And then I said, when I land, can you pick me up at the airport? Long story short, that's exactly what happened. He was at the airport waiting for me. Started a lifelong friendship with this kid from that point on. Um, so I ended up staying in a hotel the first like 2 years I was there. It was like a hotel. And then I ended up moving with a family. This guy, Jim Blarchi, Still good friends with his son, Nana. Nana, that's what they called him. His nickname, his name was Leslie. But big. She was an importer. He was one of the guys that would bring in. He had, he'd pay trappers like they'd get gray parrots, goosey mouses, you know, you name it, freaking giant snails, emperor scorpions, getting gravid, gaboon vipers, rhino vipers, atheris vipers. We had everything. We had everything. But he had a huge house, and he became friendly with the guy who owned the house, this guy Jim, and he had an extra room in his house. I was like, dude, can I like rent a room from you? And I was like, right. I rented a room in this big, beautiful house where there was like an upstairs, there was like a deck, like an outside deck. But it was all, all concrete built home, big, beautiful home.
Yeah.
And we did dinner up there. We did our fried plantains and our fufu or whatever the hell, they cook when we eat there. And there was a guava tree that hung over the second floor outside deck, and I'd see the fruit bats all night coming. You could within reach these giant, beautiful fruit bats would just be right there picking the guava. It was just awesome. But the craziest story was so I lived in the house, and then like American people would call, like doing the same thing I was doing, looking for the Black Python people. So this guy, it was Eric, I think his name was Eric Dorset. So he called, he was American, and he was from Portland. And Jim answers the phone. It's not my house, it's not my phone. But he's like, Justin, there's an American named, it was like one of those things where I must know every American because he's an American. And, he's looking to talk to him. I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to him. So I get on the phone, and this guy's like expecting like to talk to some like freaking dude in Africa, and like some dude from Jersey gets on the phone. Like, yo, what's up, bro? He's like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, oh, I'm calling about bonfire. It was a crazy story. So this guy got like so excited that like there was an American there. He's like, dude, can I fly out? I was like, yeah, fly the fuck out, bro. I'll pick you up at the airport. So it was like 3 days later. I didn't know this guy. We knew nothing of anything about each other. And the guy booked the flight and flew out to Ghana in a crowd. I picked him up from the airport, and we became. I haven't talked to him in years, but we became we became really good friends. And it just so happened when he was coming, I was traveling to Togo to go see some other, look at some other eggs that has. I always get phone calls from other exporters saying, "Hey, Mr. Justin, I have some cool snake. Come look at it." And that's pretty much what I did. I just drove around in a taxi to each exporter's place, look at their wares, what they had. And 99% of the time it was just normal ball pythons that were $2 a pop. But every so often there'd be something just like, holy shit, what is this thing? Um, the scaleless was sold to me as an axanthic. The guy who hashes, it's an axanthic because the color. I was like, this fucking guy doesn't see that there's no scales on this thing. This is crazy. He just did it. He just thought it was a gray and black snake. And I bought it from him. This guy Eric comes out, and I'm like, dude, well, this is what I'm doing. He's like, dude, I want to do whatever you're doing. Just, bring me around, whatever. Dude, this story is just like so unbelievable. Like, it's just so ridiculous and unbelievable. So anyway, we were his first 2 days in Ghana. I have him traveling through Ghana to go to Togo Bay, which is the border town in Togo to cross over. And I had some dude that I was like dealing with. I forget his name, but you ever like the Nigerian scams, like the gold scams, right? It's like, hey, what was it? How's the scam go? I have like 50 kilos of gold, but I can't get it out. If you pay to get it out of storage, I'll give you half the gold. One of those scams. Anyway, I met one of those guys like in Africa, like I forget his name, but anyway, I saw the gold. Like this guy showed me bags of fucking gold. There was like, dude, like bags of legit gold that I actually took a sample, had it tested, and it was like legit. Dude, he had like kilos of raw gold, bro. It was like alluvial gold. So I was like, I wanted to somehow guess. So I never ended up getting any. But anyway, First of all, I didn't really have the money because I was like an 18-year-old kid. I was just trying to like somehow get the gold and like, pay him later or whatever. So I brought my buddy out. I was like, dude, we're gonna go meet this guy. He's got it was on the way to Togo. Now you gotta remember, dude, it's like it would be like driving through, dude, just like hundreds of miles of jungle. It's not like in America where there's like a town here, and there's an off ramp here to go to this. Dude, it's like you have the city of Accra, right? City of Temu, and then to go to Togo, you guys there? I'm sorry, but someone was calling my phone. I
Yeah.
apologize. So it was like
Oh,
200 miles
you're
of
all
just
good.
like savannah jungle, right? Um, so this guy comes in from Portland, this guy Eric, and he comes with me, and I'm like, yeah, man, we're gonna before we go to Togo and go look at some snake eggs. I'm like, I'm supposed to go meet this guy and look at some, look at the gold or whatever again. So I get there, there's like some off road with this hotel, and this dude's in the room with like some like probably 14-year-old girl. It was fucked up, right? But
Yeah.
it was a gated hotel, right? So everything's gated where they put like broken glasses, like instead of barbed wire, it's like broken glass on top of the fucking walls, right? So this like somewhat nice hotel was like in the middle of nowhere. It was a weird, I don't know how they made money. It was just like you had to like drive 4 hours and then take some off road for 20 minutes with nothing around. It was just like this fucking hotel. So he was staying at this hotel and he's like, so we took a cab there, right? We took a fucking taxi there. So we get there. He's like, I don't have it here. I'm gonna go get the gold. He's like, you have to. Can I use your taxi? And by this point, I didn't pay my taxi driver yet because we're still going to be going to Togo. So I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'll be down for 15 minutes. So this dude takes my taxi. He talks to the front desk about something. We have no idea what he talked to the front desk about. And what happens was, me and my buddy who's there for like 3 days, he's like leaving in 3 days. We're sitting in his hotel for like a couple hours. I'm like, dude, he's like, dude, like I want to go do something. Like I don't want to be sitting in a fucking hotel room. Like let's go to Togo. Let's go do this thing. So I'm like, all right, man, we'll go. But the problem is we couldn't get another taxi. My taxi was gone. This dude took my taxi. Right. So it was like, we're going to be walking a long point to the main road. Then hopefully we can find a taxi. Then we're going to go to Togo. I never paid my taxi driver. He wants his money. Of course, he wants his money. He was just supposed to take this dude somewhere and then come back, and it was all supposed to be like a 15-minute thing. So this dude took my taxi, went somewhere, and said, "I'll be right back," and screwed my taxi driver over. But he was at the border of Togo, which was we're probably about 20, 30 minutes away from the Togo border at that time. And I had a friend at the border. I had a friend, this kid. Oh my God, what was his name? I'm gonna fuck up his name. Was it Ariaku? It's been so long, man. I had a friend that worked the border, like he, get me through with the stamp. It was pretty wild. So I, give him some money. We'd go to lunch and shit. I was friends with it was like basically a border guard. Um, he did like the reptile shit on the side. They'd always be hustling, like, oh, I know a guy, I know a guy, I know a guy. They'd drag you around to go, buy shit or whatever. So anyway, we decide we're gonna leave, right? And they close the gate to the compound. And I'm like, hey man, we're gonna be going, we're gonna be walking, looking for a cab. And the guy's like, he's like, nah, man, you ain't going nowhere. The dude at the hotel's like, you ain't going nowhere. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, open the gate, let us go. He's like, the dude that just left said that you were here to pay his outstanding hotel bill, and
Oh,
you ain't going fucking nowhere until you pay his bill. And I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, are you serious? Dude, now remember, I've been there for years, and this new dude that's with me, he's like, what the fuck? I looking for some crazy scam. So anyway, I just jump right over the fence, like, fuck you guys. I just jump over the fence. I'm like, yo, dude, jump over the fence. So he's got, all his shit, his cameras. I'm living there. I'm not bringing cameras. He's got a pack my money in my backpack. He's got his, tripod and all that shit. So he's like throwing his shit over the fence, like over the fence. So these guys, so we start walking and we're far away from the main road to go to Togo. This dude jumps on a bike, and there was a small police station, like maybe a mile up from the hotel. It was like this real tiny police station. Um, he drives to the police, like, so he starts driving, like telling us, like basically threatening us that we owe him fucking $5,000 or we owe him $5,000 or whatever for the hotel. I'm like, dude, what's that? That has nothing to do with me. So, dude, so long ago. So basically, he gets the cops, right? He gets these like local cops. The cops come out. There's like two cops. Dude, it's like an open face jail. Like it's like think of the bush and after. It's like there's like no front wall, but there's like a single prison cell, like in this like maybe like 300 square foot building. It's like a desk and like a prison, right? It's like there's like it's just like jail. And you can see it, like you can see, like if anyone's in jail, like when you drive by, you can see like the person in jail, like in this fucked up building. So he says to this dude, these guys owe me money, blah blah blah, all this shit, right? So the cop comes and talks to me, and I said, dude, this is what happened. I came to meet a friend to buy something. He took my taxi. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I was like, he's trying to hustle me for like $5,000, and the cop's like, what the fuck? He's like. This like that's ridiculous. Like he instantly believed me, right? I'm just like some white dude, like in the middle of Africa. Obviously, I'm an American. Like I'm not like trying to scam people. So the dude at the hotel pulls the cop aside, whispers something to him, and these fucking cops arrest me and my buddy. Literally arrested.
Shit.
So we get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you now.
Oh, did we lose him? I think we might have lost him.
I still see the J.
Yeah, I see the. Gotta put that phone on do not disturb.
Mine don't do that, right? Like I don't get phone calls, but I get like a message.
No. Yeah, I usually like when I see yours, I see like a little thumbs up or something.
Oh, you can see
Yeah,
it?
yeah, you see like a little thumbs up from whatever, like Facebook or some shit. But yeah, yeah, he probably just lost connection. I don't know if he's on Wi-Fi or if he's just using his cell data.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Getting motion sickness though. Fuck.
But so one of my chihuahuas just hatched too last night.
So let me see it. You got it?
Yeah, let me go get
I can't wait to see some baby chewies. See, look at the camera. Look. See? Look, that's what Poppy doing. Nobody's up here. See? Look. Look. Poppy on the camera. Look at the phone. Oh. See? Right there. Look, do you see it? Relax.
Man, you already shed out too?
Which pair is that from? You got two pairs, right?
Yeah, this is from Bane and Ivy.
How fast do them things have their first shed? They usually shed in the first night too, like a crested gecko?
Yeah, well, it seems like it because I see the shed on the milk crate.
Do they normally eat it like the other ones do? Man, they're fucking huge as babies, man.
Yeah, like remember the ones I showed you before, where the two different sides of the eggs, but it was the same clutch. That's this one that popped out.
Which one popped? The big egg or the little egg?
The big egg. And that was 73 days.
Damn, I can't wait. I can't wait. That man, there ain't nothing cooler, man. That true story, man. That's the other reason I got into them things, man. I held my first baby Chewy. There ain't nothing cooler than a baby fucking Chewy. Not a lychee, nothing is cooler than a baby Chewy. See, just sent me a text message said sorry, got kicked out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just tell him to hit that link again. He'll be all right.
How do I text on here without losing you? Just click up like.
Oh, here. I'll text him right now. I got his.
Damn, that's fast, right? That's kind of fast. 70 something days. These dudes are talking about 100 and something days, man. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's because they're doing room temp, and their room temp fluctuates. I got mine at a steady temp.
Damn, see, that's what I do. Fuck. I
Yeah.
keep them in that greenhouse. I feel like I mean, it stays more consistent in there, but I do open it sometimes to let it breathe. But fuck. When I get eggs from them, my incubator broke. That's why I stopped and bought one of them stupid ass Zilla or Exoterra fucking things, man. That shit lasted me one.
Oh, you're talking about the little fridge one?
Yeah, it lasted me a season, and then it
started. Get the other one. They got that Exoterra Incubator Pro. I mean, it's cheap. It's like you're all good. It's technology.
It just happens about every. We were just talking about incubator. He was showing me told me he had one of his chewies just hatched, man. He just had one of his. He's been hatching chewies for years already, but he just 70 something days, Justin. 70 something days he hatched these things.
Mine's 82. Yeah, I do 82 just because I have the Chihuahua eggs and then I have Stropharis eggs.
And he's in Arizona.
Yeah. Like I said I should have that other pair, that high pink pair that I got, should be popping out probably in like 2 weeks because they dropped eggs on February 20th, and then this one was a February 7th or lay date, so should be hatching out. It's okay. It's not great, just because people are like, well, they it's expensive. It's like baseline is expensive to people, not like a crested gecko where you can pick one up for like $50 or some shit. Like baseline for a Chihuahua is like $400, right? Right around there. And so if you're just selling, that bottom tier, it's still, people are like, damn, it's still like a lot of money. So every now and then I have to do auctions just so I can move some chewies. And usually they go for like 50% retail. So it's like $200 I get. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they like to buy. Ooh.
They better not be eating the motherfuckers.
Well, I know a few people that do send over to Hong Kong. I know Joe Hupp usually sends I, he usually sends like 20, 30 fucking lychees over there at a time.
My boy
So
did. My boy Boris, you see that thing he posted? He sent like fucking 100 lychees in a box. 100 of them motherfuckers.
yeah, that's a good way to move your stuff. So you just gotta get the paperwork for that, right?
I guess he was doing it too. Well, I don't know that he was
Yeah,
a reporter, but he posted a video of him and some other person boxed them all up, and he was like, huge shout out to so and so in Hong Kong. And he was
yeah.
sending 100 fucking lychees over there, man. Imagine.
So let's hear the rest of this story. I want to hear the rest of the story that you yeah that you got arrested. I want to hear this shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Holy shit. He's like fucking American. Oh yeah. Thought I was from Minnesota.
Malaria? Right? Is there other ways to get it or just mosquitoes? How do you get malaria? Before you went to Africa, did you have to go to a doctor and get like a special set of shots and all types of shit?
Oh, damn. What were you doing with him?
Must have never met. Fuck.
Trying to find some new news. God damn. Damn. Oh man. Makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Sheep fat. What's mutton? Like sheep fat?
It's old. Yeah, it's old. It's old goat. That's why they call it mutton. It's really old. Yeah. Oh man. Gonna be number 14. Yeah.
Not
Oh shit.
Roman,
That's the power of the prayer.
but I promise you, witch doctor around way longer than Jesus Christ was known. I mean, so they must have some type of,
All that bad juju.
sounds.
Nice.
Man, shit, I can only imagine, man. Jason, where are you trying to go, Jay? You're trying to go somewhere, right? Central America, South America? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to go to South America because I want to go see Abronius in the wild. Yeah, that's my thing. Yeah. Just to see, like, can I really do this at back here? No. Can I replicate the cloud forest of where they come from to be able to, keep them successfully? Because I live in a desert. So it's like, let me do my research. Yeah. Arizona. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I know there's people out here that do keep them, but, they are like, yeah, I keep my AC like 70 degrees. I was like, so your AC bill, your electric bill's like $1,000 a month. I was like, man, I don't know if I can do that.
Where does the cloud forest start? Like, what's the elevation? What altitude does it start to be considered the cloud forest?
That I would actually have to look up. Like I said, I know they're what, Guatemala, uh, parts
Maybe like
Mexico.
the Andes, right? The Andes Mountains.
Yeah,
Out of there.
everything that's probably nice and cool.
Uh,
Like I said, no, I mean a lot of Mexico is hot, so that they have to be up there high in the higher elevations just to keep cool the way they do because they're out like in 40-degree weather sometimes. Just doing their little thing. So
uh,
yeah,
Bill
I don't know if I can do that over here.
episode there. Like I was talking to David about. He went to he was in some cloud forest somewhere, and he was doing that study with the chameleon. As everybody feels like they can only drink from moving water, whatnot. He actually did a little study that showed that they can absorb water through the clouds through their skin.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy, crazy shit, man. I think it's super cool, man. Crazy adaptation.
yeah. So for your geckos, what size tanks do you keep? Like your chewies and your fantasticus in? Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, they like comfort, they like security. So people always say bigger is better, but you can tell that lychee that doesn't want to eat that's in this huge enclosure. But it's all about how you feel it too, right? If you fill that cage up, they're gonna feel secure.
When they're babies, right?
If
Everybody tells
Yeah, when they're
in a small enclosure so they feel comfortable and they find their food. But the second they get bigger, they don't like a smaller enclosure. Like I'm not suggesting you keep a full grown one in the shoebox, but it's proportion. You still keep them in a proportion
yeah, yeah.
age. You don't just take him like, oh, he's grown now, put him in a 48 by 48.
Yeah.
People just
No, you gotta move them up slowly. Like, there's different levels to it. Like, for me, they start in the 6 quart. After that 6 quart, they move into a 12. Then after that 12, they go into a 12 by 12 by 18 for singles. And then when they get ready for to get to that age when they're going to produce, I go and get my 18 18 18s made, and I just fill it up with cork, a bunch of different hiding places, visual barriers, just so if they're like not feeling each other at the moment, they can scram away. And then, but I'm going to start actually getting those magnetic feeder cups because I'm starting to see because I said I got superworms and mealworms in there, like all through the soil. But they're starting to couple them to eat a little too much of the diet. So I was like, no, we're gonna have to move that shit up just so I could see them eating more than what they should be.
I gotta ask both of you guys. Last night, I mean, you guys both know I just paired these chewies for the first time. I put a pair together. They look like they got enough room in this cage, but I was tripping because I'm like, damn, now I never thought about putting them in a bigger cage. But I got them in like 18, 12 by 18 by 20. These Zoom Med things are, man. They're 20 inches tall. They're not 24s.
Yeah, maybe like I said, maybe at 18 18 24 will work just because they get that long tail, so they gotta as long as they can stretch out and they still have room
Just
to still
they're stretched out. One's up, one's down. But I try to
yeah
put them in something bigger. But I never thought about that far ahead. In all actuality, I listened to what everybody said, and I'm such an advocate of not listening to what people said. But I still thought I had a year before I could even pair these things. So I always had in my head,
yeah
I'm going to be in a different spot. I'm going to build my own PVC enclosures. I'm gonna do my own shit. I'm going to build some badass shit like 18 by fucking 24 condos of my own. But now, since things have been changing and I put them in together, now shit ain't even been 24 hours. I'm like, fuck, I got to figure something out, man. I should get him in something bigger.
yeah some bigger, some new stuff in there too, so that I'm not feeling like one's theirs and like trying to mark their scent and saying this is gonna be my shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. I put all new equipment in there, or all new logs and branches and everything in there, so they wouldn't get territorial with each other.
Shingle, that you could go on eBay and buy a 12 by whatever inch. They sell them in different sizes, but it's like cork board you put cork into, but it actually has
The cork flat.
like real bark glued onto the front of it. So I just buy those and stick them in the fucking back. Sometimes they're not, but I put the dirt under them so it doesn't really matter. So I have them. I got one or two maybe that has the foam, but the crickets and the superworms and shit eat it. And I
Yeah.
wasn't like a big thriller. I'd like to
Damn.
make my own back with spray foam and dry lock and all that. Kinda. There you go. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, big fucking cage.
Do you use that great stuff? Oh,
Boss just got.
yeah, yeah,
Boss
yeah.
just bought. He was building a pond in his backyard. There you go. Just
Nice.
bought a whole
Yeah.
little cage. Definitely taking one from him. He'll tell me where. Yeah, I did him. I just unfortunately I didn't. I'm a spur of the moment type of guy, man. I was building them and looking. I had an extra enclosure, so I'm like, shit, let's fuck around with these cork tiles. And I just wound up using a hot glue gun. I used Gorilla Glue glue sticks, and I glued it. And while the glue was still hot, I took some sphagnum moss and stuck it around it. And I mean, it don't look bad. It's just they're not big enough for pairs, you know.
So do you plan on once you get like a good amount of inventory, you planning on trying to do shows, or are you just doing this for fun? I mean, yeah, just post it up, more all that stuff.
Right?
Yeah. Cool.
I wanted to, man. I wanted to so bad myself.
Okay. What does yours look like? Okay. Okay. Nice.
Where are you getting the wine coolers from?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I love her.
It can just make my. Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah.
Definitely do. What kind are you using, Jay? What type of incubator are you using?
I got the that Exoterra Incubator Pro. So it looks like
The foam one, right?
what's that? Yeah, it's the foam one. It looks like one of those, but it has a humidity gauge in there, so you can set your humidity to whatever percent you want, and your heat. So I just keep the humidity at like 80 degree or 80%, and then my heat is at 82. So you pour water on the bottom, and there's like a little spout. It just sprays water out, so it keeps the humidity up. Yeah, yeah. It was like $100. Yeah, it was cheap. Yeah, it was ridiculously cheap.
Damn.
So but once I start producing a whole lot, I'm gonna have to get something bigger, like get one of those will bacon incubators or some shit.
Things are $1.
Have you seen those? Yeah, but you can do the like the whole diapause. Like say if you had chameleon eggs, you do diapause, then you bring it back up to the heat. It's crazy what his stuff can do. Yeah, but right now I'm not producing a whole lot, so I go with the cheap shit. I was like, it worked last year. Yeah, yeah, because those ones have different. Said they got different settings on there where you could do proportional heating or you could do dimming heating. Yeah, yeah, and then you could do. Yeah, it does. It really does hold well. Yeah, yeah. I use that Govee as well. I have one of those Govee thermostats in my incubator, so I always pay attention to it. But yeah, all my yeah. Yep. And then it controls all my lights. Yeah, yeah, yep,
I did hear
yeah,
a lot of good things about those, man. Like everybody, I hear nothing but good stuff about those things.
yep. I got all my plugs. Yeah, all my plugs right now are all Govies. So I have all my lights, all my heat is all on a Govee right now. So they're all, yep, yeah. And they're all set to times to sunrise and sundown. So yeah, so right now they're on a 12 hour cycle. And then actually no, they're on a 14-hour cycle now since it's about to be summer. And then wintertime it goes down to like a 6-hour cycle. During breeding season, yeah. 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 Once winter comes in, they'll go down to like a 6-hour light cycle. For the Chihuahuas, I got heat pads on the back just for the breeding pairs. My like the babies and all that, I just keep them in my warm room where all my arid stuff is, so they can continually grow and not have to face that whole getting cold at night and everything like that. But like yeah, my Stropharis, they got heat lights on them. They got the UVB on them, so it gets pretty warm in my room. Just put one side warm. So they got the option, so they can either stay on the warm side or they can go chill on the cool side. Generally, most of the time, I see them on the in the back, just warm it up. It speeds up the metabolism. Yeah, said I said in their enclosures, they're either up by the lights trying to get warm, or if they're in the 6 quart containers, they're always on the warmer end. I never really see them come to the cooler end, especially now. Like I said, it's getting real warm over here, so it doesn't really don't really have too many of a cool spots, but enough to make a difference. Like it'll be like between like 76 and 78 on the cool side, and like 80 degrees on the warm. But like I said, it keeps their metabolism going, so they can keep on eating and growing, and I'll make sure there's no setbacks with them.
I was like, it's 80 in here still, man. Thank God. I felt like it was hotter. I was getting nervous. I was like, shit.
All those lights, yeah, it should be
This is
hot,
my
man.
first full season in this room, so I haven't really gauged this summer yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure out the whole summer thing in this room. You know, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
before I like again, like most people, I was gauge in the individual enclosures, which is ambiguous. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I feel like controlling just the enclosure is easier, and then for a long time, like over the winter time, like it's so much easier just heating a whole room. Like dealing with the
Yeah.
room. But now I'm like, fuck, I don't know, man, because today I came in here, man, and it felt like, dude, it was cloudy in here. It was cloudy. I had the humidifier.
Was it? Oh, for the humidifier?
So I thought I'm looking around for a fucking fire, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But it was so humid. My walls were sweating. The plaster walls were sweating.
Oh shit.
Like shit. And it was relatively cold outside over here today, man. It was 30 degrees last night, bro. 30 degrees.
God
Dead
damn.
serious. Woke up this morning. It was 33 degrees this morning. At 8 o'clock, I was going to work. It was, well, a little before 8, it was 33 degrees, man.
God
But first
damn.
thing,
8 o'clock over here,
boom.
bro. It was like 85.
That's my weather right there, boy.
Man. Yeah, I got in my car to go home. That shit said 100. I was like, motherfucker.
That's beautiful.
We about to start this shit already.
That's where I need to be. That's where I need to be.
Man.
Dude, if
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't wear a shirt, right? Yo, I take it 100 degrees year round and it not phase me one bit, man. I just,
Yeah.
my people, my bloodlines are all from the Mediterranean, Southern Italy and shit, man. That shit's in my blood, man. Greece and Italy, it's in my soul, man. I live in that.
Yeah.
My wife, if it gets above 70, she's fucking screaming and yelling. Like,
No, yeah, my girl's the same way. She's like, man, if it's past 73, we have
this
problems.
girl,
I was like, oh shit, okay.
I'm a big believer, man. Girls want heat when they want it, and they just want what they want when they want what they want, man. Fuck.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll come sitting here sometimes, bro, Jay, for real, man. I'll come sitting here and turn the lights out and just lay on the floor and listen to the geckos talk and the frogs chirp and feel the humidity in the sun and just close my eyes and think about being in an island somewhere, man. Sounds crazy. That's serious. I'll be like, I'm in the Bahamas. Yeah. I'm in New Caledonia. I'm chilling somewhere, man. I'm in Madagascar. I'm chilling somewhere. What the hell is that? Oh, there.
No, you're all good. I said we're almost done. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you want people to find you, but I mean, you can tell them if you want. Yeah.
Man. If you thing that you do that you've learned or failed at, we say this all the time. One's failure is one of the biggest lessons for the next man. You failing at something, me failing at something, all of our failures, in theory, could potentially teach the next man the biggest lesson of their breeding experience, man. And we're huge at that. All right. I mean, I talked to you.
All right, man.
It was a pleasure. It's good having you on here.
Hey, no problem. Love hearing those shows. No, man, those stories were
Wonderful.
Fire.
Great.
Dude, like I said, I've been to Africa as well, so I know some of that stuff that goes on. Like I was a DoD contractor, so as soon as you get off the plane, you got little ass kids offering you a bag of water, trying to hustle that shit. I'm like, dude, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, man, this shit was dusty. We was outside in dirt. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. All right.
You.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you again.
Later, bro.